What's going on, everyone? So per Brian Windhorst, 0% chance the Lakers trade for Zach Lavine. So currently, all of the talk, all of the discussions are centered around Zach Lavine and DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray appears to be the Lakers' priority. He appears to be the number one target for the Lakers. There was a report that the Lakers and the Atlanta Hawks are going to pick up conversations this week. When is that? I don't know, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later, right? What that tells me, though, also is that the Lakers may be interested in trading Austin Reeves because I don't see them. Atlanta wants Austin Reeves, right? So whatever it's going to take is probably going to include Austin Reeves. So clearly the Lakers aren't as opposed to trading Austin Reeves as one may think. Who knows? Maybe they can work it out without trading Reeves, but time will tell. It appears that DeJounte Murray will be the other prize. Now, I am somebody that leans towards Zach Lavine. Primarily because I have concerns about DeJounte Murray's fit, right? Now, we only have the information that we have to go off of right now. And I understand the contract differences, right? I understand the disparity in it, right? Zach Lavine's making more than double of what DeJounte Murray's making right now. I get all that. But if it's a one-on-one impact, Zach Lavine is the better fit, the better natural scorer, the better finisher, the better career three-point shooter. I would give me Zach Lavine, right? As far as the cap implications and all that stuff go, the Lakers are over the cap regardless. His contract isn't going to affect the Lakers as much as people think because no matter what the Lakers do, they're going to be locked in long-term anyway, right? But to me, it's what are those other pieces, right? In a DeJounte Murray trade, yes, you could get more pieces, but again, what are those other pieces, right? If the Lakers are willing to include Austin Reeves, can you get Zach Lavine, Alex Caruso, and Andre Drummond? To me, that's a home run, right? Now you basically got your point of attack defensive 3-and-D guy. Alex Caruso shooting 42% from three or 44% from three or something crazy like that. Then you got Zach Lavine who could just go get you buckets. He's also kind of adapted and shown that he can kind of play in that secondary playmaker role and all that stuff. He's looked great so far since his return. People act like he's this atrocious defender. He's really not. Go look at all his advanced metrics. The guy is actually very good defensively. Not elite or anything like that, but he's good enough. He's better than Austin Reeves and Taurean Prince and everybody else that we're going to trade for him. So you get that guy. You get Alex Caruso. At that point, you go Jared Vanderbilt in the starting unit with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're cooking. Let's go, right? You'd still have plenty of depth. You'd still have the buyout market. You'd still have plenty of things to go forward with. You're locked up with your team regardless of what you do. But from the DeJounte Murray side, like, how does that look, right? Can you get a Clint Capella, who the Lakers are reportedly interested in? Can you get a Bogdanovich? Now it's like, okay, if I could get a DeJounte Murray, a Clint Capella, and say a Bogdanovich, maybe even include Saddiq Bey because they just kind of want to unload Saddiq Bey. They're not going to re-sign him. They're not planning on keeping him. He's only making like $5 million or $6 million, something like that. So it's something that you could add and include. Now, in that case, I think the risk is worth the reward for getting a DeJounte Murray trade because now you have DeJounte Murray. Ideally, he gets back to being a at least good defender. He's been terrible defensively, terrible. But if he can kind of get back to being good defensively and then continue to shoot 40%, which again, I have my concerns. He's a career 34%. We've seen how guys look when that happens, right? When they come to the Lakers. I mean, look at Malik Beasley. Guy is leading the league in three-point percentage and just been absolute en fuego for the Milwaukee Bucks. But with the Lakers, the guy couldn't make a three to save his life. Right, so what's more likely, DeJounte Murray staying at 40% or dropping back down to 34%? Also, DeJounte Murray has been terrible at finishing around the rim. Awful. That's a big concern, right? Because the whole point is athleticism, point of attack, or rim pressure guy, right? Get to the basket. Can he finish through contact? Is a real concern. Is a real question mark, right? And then him playing off ball. Zach Lavine is a much better off ball player, but again, you look at, hey, you get me Clint Capella. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. He's averaging almost five offensive boards. He's averaging 4.8 offensive rebounds per game. You give me that. Rim protection, right? He can play alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He can play when Anthony Davis goes to the bench, or if he misses a game, you still have that rim protection. You still have that rebounding, right? Now I look at that and I go, okay. And then if you could get a Bogdanovich, like, well, okay, now you got your dead-eye shooter, a guy that's excellent off the ball. Now you can kind of get that, scoring supplement. He's basically like the third or fourth option, and he's averaging like 17, 18 a game because he's so good off ball, right? He's having a bit of a down year shooting-wise, but can he kind of uptick that playing alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and DeJounte Murray? It's a real question mark. Now, I don't expect him to be an 18-point-a-game guy. It's very likely going to drop as he's going to be like the fourth option. But can he still be around, 14 a game? Right? That would be massive. Now you start looking at the DeJounte Murray package. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But Zach Lavine being 0%, I just don't buy at all. Because again, both reports came from Brian Windhorst. The report that the Lakers are talking to DeJounte Murray, and then that there's 0% chance for Zach Lavine. Nothing in this league is 0%. I mean, seriously, we've had enough of sample sizes over the course of 75 years or 76 years, whatever has been, showing that nothing is 0%. Okay? Now, I look at this two ways. One, this could be just a leverage play, right? Maybe Chicago is very adamant about getting a return because there's been a lot of talks that nobody's interested in Zach Lavine. Nobody wants Zach Lavine. The Chicago Bulls would have to give up assets to unload Zach Lavine, all of that, right? And Brian Windhorst also, or it wasn't Brian Windhorst, I'm blanking on who it was, but I talked about it yesterday. Somebody else said that Zach Lavine is still an option and all that stuff. So again, there's conflicting reports. It's like, who do you believe? Do you believe Brian Windhorst, or do you believe the other people that have talked about Zach Lavine? Right? Again, where does that line draw? I'll leave that for you to decide. Let me know down in the comments. But is it small? Sure, I could see that, depending on what the return is. And like I've always said that, like at the end of the day, it depends on what the return is for Zach Lavine. Right? What do you have to give up to go get Zach Lavine? Because you are helping Chicago. And Chicago still is adamant about unloading Zach Lavine. He's been much better for them, but are they willing to just basically just kind of give him away? Now, the Lakers could also be leveraging to get both Zach Lavine and DeJounte Murray. Maybe they work something like that out, right? To me, it's going to come down to how do the trades go? If the Lakers trade for DeJounte Murray and other pieces, then Zach Lavine's out. If the Lakers trade for just DeJounte Murray, depending on what that return is, right, or what they have to give up, then now I think Zach Lavine would still be a play. Right? Also, again, who does that report benefit? The Lakers are basically out on Zach Lavine. That benefits the Lakers because now it puts Chicago in a position of like, well, no one else wants Zach Lavine. The Lakers were the only team. Now what do we do? Right? So now it kind of shifts focus and detail to, okay, well, maybe we should lower our price. Maybe we should kind of get down on what we want for Zach Lavine, right? Because we do want to get rid of him. We do want to unload him, things like that. Again, it could be a leverage play. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. Maybe Brian Windhorst is 100% correct. I just don't buy that it's 0% chance. Are the Lakers hesitant and have concerns about him making $40 million a year? Absolutely, right? That is definitely a concern, but it's not as big of a concern as many people make it out. If the Lakers were as concerned about that as many people are, then it never would even have been a conversation. But the Lakers have touched base with Chicago about it. So the Lakers aren't that concerned about the $40 million because they're probably looking at it the same way I am. What else are we getting besides Zach Lavine? It can't just be Zach Lavine. If all we're getting is Zach Lavine, then yes, it becomes a problem, right? But if we can get Zach Lavine and we can get other pieces that we can lock up long term, we're over the cap anyway. It doesn't matter, right? Like the only thing it affects is like, if we go into the second tax apron, we can't get buyouts and stuff like that or use our biannual exceptions and things like that. We don't need those if we have a championship level contender. Again, if you have Zach Lavine, Alex Caruso, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, Taurean Prince, Christian Wood, Andre Drummond, Max Christie, right? Like Cam Reddish, right? At that point, you're still 10 guys deep. Like you're fine. How many players do you need? And you want to keep the rotation as small as possible for Darvin Ham because Darvin Ham isn't going anywhere this year or likely not going anywhere this year. So again, I don't buy that it's 0%. Again, is it unlikely? I could see that. It's very possible, right? But again, I lean towards what is the return that you're getting beyond DeJounte Murray. Because if it's just one or the other, if it's just, okay, Lakers can get just DeJounte Murray or just Zach Lavine. Say it's one of the two. Give me Zach Lavine. That's the thing I have always stuck by. I still stick by. Because the concerns for Zach Lavine are nowhere near the concerns for DeJounte Murray. People even have concerns about injury history. Go look at the games played the last 5 years. Last 5 years. Not counting this year because this year isn't over. I'm talking about the last 5 years. Zach Lavine has played more games the last 5 years than DeJounte Murray by like 50 games or something like that, 60 games. DeJounte Murray had an entire season not that long ago where he missed the entire season from injury. So, again, and the reason I say don't use this year, because I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to say, the reason I say don't use this year is because who knows what happens. Like, what if Zach Lavine plays every game the rest of the way and DeJounte Murray ends up missing the rest of the season? Like, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, right? So, what has been completed, what has been finalized, go look at DeJounte Murray, go look at Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine has played more games than DeJounte Murray. So, they both have the same injury concerns, right? Zach Lavine has been better defensively than DeJounte Murray has been. So you get the better defender, you get the better offensive player, you get the better off-ball player, you get the better rim finisher, you get the better elite scorer, and you get the guy that's played more games in the last 5 years. Yes, his contract is $40 million compared to this season. DeJounte is only making like $18.5 million, but his new contract kicks in next season. Which still not $40 million, but still, right? Like, to me, give me the better natural fit. Give me the guy that can go and cook. Now, long term, I do think DeJounte Murray makes more sense, right? Post LeBron, I think DeJounte Murray makes more sense, but you have no idea how long LeBron's going to play. LeBron, at the way he's playing right now, could play another 5 years if he wanted to. You know, so at that point, DeJounte Murray, he's going to be 32. He's going to be already on a new contract or whatever, right? Like, his contract's going to be done. But I do think that DeJounte Murray, if you can get a Clint Capella and you can get a Hunter or Bogdanovich along with like a Sadiq Bey, or even if you can't get Sadiq Bey, which to me, I think Atlanta's not going to, they want to get rid of Sadiq Bey, right? So I think that here you go, just take him. I don't think that that'll be the difference maker. But let's just leave him out of it for argument's sake. If you can get a Clint Capella and then a Hunter or a Bogdanovich, again, me personally, I would rather take Bogdanovich. But if you can get a Hunter or a Bogdanovich, now I kind of lean towards, okay, right? Because Clint Capella is an upgrade over Andre Drummond. Now, Bogdan and Hunter versus Alex Caruso. I think Alex Caruso, you can make an argument, could be a better need and better fit. But if DeJounte Murray can get back to being a good defensive guard, then now it's like, okay, well then, you know, Bogdanovich and or Hunter do kind of make more sense. I just think the total Atlanta package as a whole might be better than the Chicago package, and there's no guarantee that they would include Alex Caruso. So let's just say the guys we know we probably could get, which is Zach Lavine and Andre Drummond. Zach Lavine and Andre Drummond, to me, don't equal DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella, and a Bogdanovich or a Hunter. That's kind of where I lean. So, again, I don't believe it's 0% like Brian Windhorst said. Also, again, with any reports, and look, I've said this before, even the report, whether it's a report in the favor of the Lakers or non-favoring the Lakers, Brian Windhorst and his tap into the Lakers is usually very questionable. And there have been plenty of other people that have said the opposite. Again, you're going to get these conflicting reports. But you also got to look at what do the reports favor. A report like that favors the Lakers because now it adds desperation to Chicago, where it's like, like if the Lakers go trade for DeJounte Murray and all these guys, well, then we have no shot of unloading Zach Lavine. All right, so again, it could be a leverage play. It could not be a leverage. Maybe they really are. Maybe they really are out on Zach Lavine. I don't know. No one else has reported that, right? We got a report the other day that the Lakers recently talked to Chicago about it. So maybe after that conversation, maybe things have changed. I don't know, but it's just, again, like what does the consensus say, right? Not individual report. What does the consensus say? The consensus say that the Lakers that DeJounte Murray is the priority, which makes sense. Again, what else can you get? Better package, better return, cheaper, all that stuff. Okay, that I completely buy. It completely makes sense. Consensus is that. But the other consensus is that the Lakers are interested in Zach Lavine. They're just reluctant. And it depends on the return. Right? So, I usually look at what is the consensus. What is the majority saying rather than one or two individual people? That is where I lean. Right? So, to me, I don't think it's 0%. Is it super likely? Maybe not. But time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you want Zach Lavine? Do you want DeJounte Murray? Do you think it just depends on what the other return is? As do I. Again, that's where I lean in the camp. My whole thought process is if it's one or the other, give me Zach Lavine. If it's package-wise, I think you'll get a better package with DeJounte Murray. So, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.